Surprise!
Who?
Welcome to quarantine number 14. Oh my God, look who's on our stage.
How'd he get here?
I can't say.
Well, thanks for sticking around, Jack. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. I figure if I'm going to go for it, I'll go for it.
Yeah, what the heck? It's not like you live next door or something.
It's about a month and change on the road here.
Yeah.
And hey, we should be working anyway. We should
True.
Chester
True.
wanted to stay. That's why this whole thing is happening, because Chester loves me.
be. Chester does love you.
Chester loves everybody.
So welcome, like I said, welcome to quarantine number 14. Welcome again, Jack, and of course, Yorma. You never go anywhere, so.
No, thanks for welcoming me.
Special thank you to my staff that's working behind the scenes. Andy, Myron. Izzy's not here today. Look out at that long shot camera. She's nowhere to be found. I'm working both cameras today. So I may actually call in John or Deborah to help me. So the same
Yep.
applies like every week.
Yep.
This is a free live
Free.
stream. Yorma?
If it ain't free, it ain't me.
It ain't us.
That's right. So tonight's concert is brought to you by Yorma's Choice. No, that's your tea.
Yeah,
Well,
I
you might
got
as well
it.
keep that in your hand because you're going to be talking about it anyways.
I'm gonna hurt myself reaching over
Hold
for the
on, now
Orma's
everybody's
choice.
going to have to see me come around.
You know, I just had a mental picture of the old
Thank you, Vanessa.
the old Ranger, 20 Mule Team Borax.
Right. Right.
Okay, sorry about that, folks. So,
Wasn't that Ronnie Reagan?
He was for a while, yeah.
You
Are-
see, yeah, go ahead, Ness.
oh
Sorry.
no, go ahead, just talk amongst yourselves.
Oh, I got it. I got it.
So, thank you for holding that up.
Yeah.
All of our concerts are brought to you by Yorma's Choice CBD products. And as we've been talking about, that is a new product. It is a 1,000 milligram muscle cream. What do we like about the muscle cream? It's nice when it's really hot outside.
True.
The Muscle Balm is awesome. It's thicker. It's a little slicker. The cream goes on like any moisturizer or sunscreen would.
Correct.
1,000 milligram. This stuff works.
Yes, it does.
And I didn't talk about it, but I got flipped off my paddleboard last week, and I've been using the 1,000 milligram muscle cream, and let me tell you,
Good thing you were wearing your PFD, huh?
I know some of your fans called us out for not
Yeah.
wearing our.
And you know, just to give credit where credit's due, I wear a helmet all the time when I ride my bike, so
Right,
I was wearing mine too. So there.
yeah. So I was called out for talking too much.
Oh
So,
my.
I know, we're not going to out her. What was her name? Never mind.
We
Um,
love her anyway.
Oh, listen, you know, this is like being in our living room.
It
So
is.
These are kind of the conversations that we have on a normal day, but I get it. You want to hear Yorma and Jack. So thank you for pointing out that I may be a little long in the tongue, as they say.
As they say.
So the CBD product, 1,000 milligram muscle cream. If you haven't tried it, try it. Yorma, you were holding up a bag of your Rhythm Tonic.
That's right.
We
Rhythm
can't
tonic
keep
tea.
this on the shelf, so when you're on tour, it goes out with you, but this is our tour. So
Right,
we have-
before Rhythm Tonic. After. Anyway,
So we have a lot of bags of your Rhythm Tonic
We
tea.
do.
And though we love it hot, it's fantastic iced. Same process, brew it, cool it down, throw some ice cubes in it. It's awesome. And check out Susie Abramovitz Rock Riffle Run Pottery. Can you hold it up just a little higher? There you go. We have been out of these. These are locally made. We have a brand new batch, all kinds of colors. They'll be on the site. They're wonderful.
you ought to
And
take a
it's-
couple of these home with you, Jack. These things
As
are
a matter
awesome.
of fact, I was just looking at the fact that they don't tip over. They're good and solid.
That's right.
How could it tip over? Weighs 50 pounds. No, I'm just
And
kidding.
it's a nice accompaniment to the Burpees Ranch Diner mug. So
Indeed.
So, how the shows work, Jack, this is your third one. Yorma, this is your 14th one.
Yep.
We like to throw in some questions, and since this was a surprise show,
Yeah,
these are-
thanks for sticking around again.
These are questions that came in last week, so, after the show. So I'll probably just have one or two so we can
Yeah,
get the
toss 'em
most
out.
music. But I do want to say a special thank you over these last 14 weeks worth of shows to all the people that have been donating to the crew. And except for today, with the disappearance of our daughter, Izzy, our crew has been Andy Walla running all the stream, Myron Hart doing the sound. I take no pay for this at all, so Izzy,
As I don't either.
I know,
Likewise,
I know,
we're just here.
I know.
We'd like to play.
So across the screen, at some point tonight, you're gonna see a PayPal address and a Venmo address. We had no intention of even asking for donations, but it was one of you, the listeners and the YouTube subscribers that said, hey, where's your tip jar? So, oh, thank you. You know, you're modeling the mask, but I do want to say the black mask currently is sold out. But let me tell you what we ordered. The exact same wonderful mask. It's a 3-ply mask, has the little metal under the bridge of the nose. It has little toggles, very nice to adjust behind your ears so you don't look like Dumbo when you put it on. A place for a filter, but we're changing the color. We have a gunmetal gray coming with the black Fur Peace logo. So
Cool.
those should be here in about 3 weeks. I'll let everybody know when they become available.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I want to thank everyone again. Yorma, Jack, thank you so much for doing this. My crew, all of you, if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. I think we might have 19,000 people. I haven't looked since last week, but if we get 30,000, we're actually able to do more with the channel, and we'd love to be able to do that. We're actually hoping that we get back out there and, okay, this is where that girl's gonna say, I told her to shut up, but I'm a vaxxer. We need a vaccine. So until we get a vaccine, please wear your mask, do what we're supposed to do so
Yep.
we can get back to whatever normal's going to be. And that's all I gotta say
For now.
for now.
Yeah, very
I
good.
couldn't help myself.
I know you could.
Can't help
Okay,
That's
so
okay.
let's just start out with some music. If you see me standing over here, I'll be waving to you. It means I have a question, but I'm gonna keep the questions down to a minimal since this
Okay.
is a surprise
Cool.
show. We wanna give everybody more than they expected. Thank you.
We got Jack here. That's already more than they expected. Hey, so yeah. Well, good to see you there, my friend. Glad you.
Good to be here. I took a little jaunt off to see my relatives in St. Leonard, Maryland, and then went to the East Shore,
The land of pleasant living.
yes, to Exnard, and got a little corn on the cob and saw the bay, and I'm back. So I figured, why not another?
Why not indeed? Well, we're glad you stopped more or less on your way home. Well, gosh. So yeah, let's do I See the Light.
Wonderful.
No, I'm not gonna do it that fast. Okay, ready? 2, 3. Well, in this world I'm living in, see the light Sins are gone, now I know what is wrong and right. Feeling us together, now pushing back the night. Good time, baby, I see the light. Well, on this road, walking on, see my way. Paradise I'm living for, each and every day. Feeling us together, now nothing more to say. Good time, I can see my way. Well, in the sea, I'm moving through, feel my life complete with the one I'm living for. Time is oh so sweet, feeling us together, now pushing back the night. Good time, I can see the well, in this world I'm living in, see the light. Sins are gone, now I know what is wrong and right. Feeling us together, now pushing back the night. Good time, I can see the light. Good time, I can see the light. Thank you so much. Well done, Jack, well done. Thank God we're not over-rehearsed.
All I gotta say is, what a great environment to play.
You know,
It's
it
pretty
you know it
cozy.
actually really is. I mean, you think about all this stuff. You know, obviously we would probably prefer to be traveling around, we troubadouring, as it were, as the great Verlin Thompson would say. We like to be badors,
Yeah.
troubadours out there, but we're not right now. But we are here, and we've noticed over the years too. Just this little room here at the Furphy Station. It's just a really, really great sounding room. It's a great sounding electric room, but it's especially fine acoustically. Just sad. Good job, Vanessa. Vanessa designed this room. Well done, well
Yeah,
done. People go, is she a sound engineer? I go, I think she threw the I Ching or something. I don't know, but it works great. We're not worried about it.
I hear things that only a dog can hear.
It's how true, how true. Don't think you're gonna whisper behind her back. I heard that. Anyway. Well, I've told the story before. I only have so many stories, so they're gonna have to be recycled at some point. Who laughed? Who laughed at that? Yeah, nice, Vanessa, thanks. Hey, if you can't practice on, you know, Jack, I will never forget, and I'm sure you won't either, that ill-fated trip to Jamaica
Oh, fantastic.
when we were gonna cut
What a
that
great
hot.
idea. We'll go to Jamaica.
We'll go to
and
Jamaica.
We'll make a record.
Yes.
It'll be great.
It's utterly unrehearsed, but without getting into the yeah, it didn't work out so well. But in any case, so at the time we were hanging with Marty and a bunch of these folks, and one of the things that, and I've said this before too, one of the things I think that really makes bands stay together is busting each other's balls relentlessly.
And the ability to hang together.
Right, and
you know,
exactly
that's
still
the
being
best.
friends.
And we did nothing, pretty much, while we were in Jamaica.
Pretty much nothing. But in any case, I remember we were at the table, and I don't know, I'm sure it was my fault. I was wising off or something, and Marty threw his plate on the floor. Remember that crash? And he said, same old jokes year after year. And me, of course, not unable to keep my mouth shut at any given moment, said, if you can't practice on your friends, who can you practice on? Anyway, I don't know.
I think he reckoned with it finally, but
That was a short-lived
50
incarnation of the
years
band.
later.
All right. All that being said, it is true that nobody knows you when you're down and once I live a life of a millionaire, spending my money I didn't care, and taking my friends out for a real fine time, buying them whiskey, champagne, and wine. Then I began to fall so low. You know, didn't have a dime, no place to go. Yeah, if I ever get my hands on that dollar again, I said, gonna squeeze it till that ego grin, because nobody knows you when you're down and out. I said, in your pocket there's not one penny. Look for your friend, you know, haven't any. Or when you get back on your feet again. I said, everybody wants to be your long-lost friend. Till then, you brother, without a doubt. Nobody knows you when you're down and out. when you're down and out. I said in your pocket there's not one penny. Look for your friend, haven't any. Oh, but when you get back on your feet again, I said everybody wants to be your long lost friend. Telling you, brother, without a doubt, nobody knows you when you're down and out. Mean to tell you when you're down and out. Oh, thank you.
Yes, you know, that's one of those songs.
It
How many
is.
times we played that song, you know?
It's a great song.
And it's always somehow a little different.
I actually learned that song backing Janis. Then I figured, well, I'm no Janis, but I know the lyrics. I might as well sing it too.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
How's about a question?
lay 'em on us.
Okay.
What? Make it a good one.
Well,
I'm sure it
this was
will
a
be.
really long email, and so I'm not going to read the whole email. Basically, they've been watching the quarantine concerts from Denmark, and
Awesome.
all shows, the shows that we did, the 2 shows with you guys, and all the other ones, blowing him
Denmark, I
away.
have 2 words: brown mustard.
Ugh,
Delicious. Anyway,
Ugh.
go on.
gross. Sorry. So this is from Johannes from Denmark.
Okay.
And he wants to talk about the creation.
I believe that actually be Johan, probably.
Johan, I'm
Whatever, I
sorry.
know. He'll cut your break. here.
You messed me up with the brown
I'm
mustard.
sorry. Go ahead.
Wants you to talk about the creation of your guitar solo, but there's part of this would be for Jack.
Yeah, sure.
On Long John Silver. He thought that the guitar solo,
For what song? Oh,
Long John Silver.
Long John Silver.
Well, I'm gonna, because I think Jack is one of the prime movers with that. So before I get to my method, if indeed I have a method for anything, Mr. Cassidy, tell us about Long John Silver.
Well, I don't write many songs, but anyway, I had a riff that I put together and put it together with Grace, I think.
Do you remember the riff?
And it'd be hard to put right now. Put me on the spot, huh?
No, I'm
So-
already on the spot. I'm drawing a
Yeah,
complete
yeah.
blank.
I'd have to review that.
I hear you,
But
brother.
a riff that I'd worked backstage for a long time, just as
Right.
a warm-up riff and whatnot, and we put it together for a song for Long John Silver. It was a lot of fun, and Grace was able to come in with and learn on the piano and kind of put a new angle on it, and so it was a lot of fun to do.
Yeah, so you actually, you created a song which started with your riff and then
It started the riff on the bass.
then
yeah.
Grace hogged in and got a co-write. But you got Grace's slick name on one of your songs, so that's
Yeah,
kind of.
something like that.
Yeah, right. Well, cool, yeah, so, it's really funny because, we've done a lot of recording over the years, et cetera, and to be honest with you, the thing I can really remember about Long John Silver is the great cover with our Rip Torn, may he rest in peace, and the parrot with all the parrot poop all over his shoulder and stuff like that.
That's right. We used to go to Sausalito and hang out with he and his lovely wife. Yeah.
That's correct, Geraldine Page, yes. Yeah, anyhow, so you write a song, and then, for a guy like me with something like this, I don't specifically remember this, and we're dredging up some memories here. I suspect that my lead part, this was an overdub. I strongly suspect that. You're brilliant.
Something like that.
Something like that. Now, I'm sure you guys cut the basic track. So anyway, with things like that, there's a lot of ways to approach solos, and for me, I would just have them run the track, and I would just start messing with guitar stuff until we came up with something that actually worked. Now, in these days of digital editing, there's a lot of Franken solos and this and that, and that's just how it is. And if we'd had it back then, we probably would have done that too, but we didn't. So basically, I just fooled around until I came up with something, and all I can say is that given the set of changes and the music that was offered in this case, Long John Silver, that's just what it required that I do.
Yeah.
Now, since it was a jam song, I don't think we ever tried to recreate that live. Like, remember Spare Change on Baxter's? That's an unedited, it's a piece that's snipped out of about, I don't know, an hour's worth of nonstop jamming. And they snipped that out, and people go, "Did you ever play Spare Change?" And the answer is it's unreplicatable because it was actually a jam.
It was that moment in time.
Truly, it was that moment. So, but in any case, so normally speaking, I would work in the studio, keep playing it back until I got something, and then the producer, I would never produce myself because I just wouldn't. It's just stupid. It's like being your own lawyer. But in any case, yeah. And then if it was something we're going to play live, having picked something in the studio after playing maybe, I don't know, who knows, 2 hours worth of solos, then you need to learn the solo so you can actually play the song live. And that's another can of worms too. But yeah, playing it over and over again, just recording track after track, and then when somebody goes, "Yeah, that's great," that's a keeper.
We did a track and a run through. The only way you could do it then, unless you were handy with a razor blade, but that was a nightmare. So we played each. If we did overdubs, we did them as a performance. And if there were sections in that overdub you didn't like, you did the whole thing over again.
Right.
And so there was some sort of conflict sometimes between certain parts of a track you'd like and certain parts you wouldn't like, and that's where your good old producer comes in and says that's the one or
Right.
that's not the one.
And also, like, just a classic example, an extreme example of that is the out-vamp solo on Surrealistic Pillows, "Somebody to Love." The last two notes are a little out of tune, and if I was in those, but that's become the arrangement. That's how it goes now. And if we were doing it today, of course, we would have fixed those.
It's an Eastern scale. I thought everything. I thought that's
Well,
what you were aiming
Jack,
for.
I was thinking
The
in
note
terms
between
of
the note.
quarter tones. Anyhow, yeah. So, and a mistake became an arrangement, and that's just how it goes
It
sometimes.
precisely plays at 5/8 of its tone.
Yeah, and all that stuff. Okay, let's play some music.
All right.
All right.
Now, speaking of folk music,
All right, speaking of folk music, so hey, I did this song once, one of the earlier quarantine concerts, and we're gonna do this song called "Follow the Drinking Gourd." We're gonna do an instrumental version of it today. Although we did discuss when we ran over it that because I do love the lyrics, I should relearn the lyrics. And
the 30 stanzas.
I played this in the Hootenanny Jam in 1964 at the Monterey Folk Festival. How about that?
That's authentic.
It doesn't get much more authentic
that's
than that,
pretty
does it?
authentic.
Anyhow, okay. So.
Just folk music.
If you've been playing the balalaika, I would expect you to do the Cossack
Exactly.
dance. Well.
My feet start to come out like that.
Yes, indeedy. Yeah, what a great song. Gotta learn the lyrics. World's an oyster in your stew. You know you got a hungry friend. Favorite horse has turned to glue. Don't kid yourself about the end. Well, now if life ain't good, living time ain't no fun. You got to jump out the window and run. Trouble round your door. The storm has left your chimney bare. Favorite horse has turned to glue. Satisfaction just ain't there. Well, now when Christmas comes, Santa's dead. The sun comes up trouble round your door. The stork has left your chimney bare. Favorite horse has turned to glue. Satisfaction just ain't there. Well, now when Christmas comes, Santa's dead. The stocking covers up. Show off. All righty. Yes, indeed. Oh, guitar change for me. Okay. Guitar change. Oh, yes.
All right, well, he's changing guitars, Jack.
Yes.
This is from a Jonathan, now that I'm not pronouncing names correctly, Jonathan Louter, sent an email.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that Jack was an accomplished guitar player before taking up the bass to join the Jefferson Airplane. My question is, if he still plays any guitar, and more interestingly, are there any recordings of him playing guitar?
Ooh.
Well,
And the answer
I
is-
think Norma has an answer to that.
I'll give a quick short answer, and then Jack can talk about his music on that. So, Jack and I were in a band briefly when we were in high school. As I'm fond of saying, we weren't even a garage band because my grandfather's car was in the garage. We were a living room band. That's
Yeah,
what
it
we
was
practiced.
a pretty nice garage.
Any case, so yeah,
My
so
older brother Chick's car was at the garage, as a matter of fact. That's another story.
that is another story. But in any case, yeah. So this guy Phil Covell. I don't know how we hooked up with Phil. Probably the bass
Through
player
Honeycutt, I think.
Mike Honeycutt. I don't know. In any case, so he had written 2 songs, and the 2 songs were "Magic Key" and "Symbol of Our Love," and we cut those 2 songs, and in that format, Phil sang, Jack played lead guitar, I played rhythm guitar. I guess Honeycutt was probably playing bass, but I think he played.
Well, I think he was playing just the bottom strings. Of
Well, yes, he didn't have a bass, but he had a Gretsch Country Gentleman where he could mute the bottom strings, and he was sort of thunking away on that. Who was playing
This was
drums?
1958, so.
That's 58. So was that Ronnie or was that?
On that session, I believe it was
Or was it
Ronnie.
Warren?
Yeah, it was
Yeah, I
Ronnie.
think it was Ronnie, yeah.
It was Ronnie.
So
Ronnie
anyhow,
McDonald.
so we, because we were way ahead of our time, we actually cut direct to disc. I remember they made
Direct to disc,
these
it-
78 records came right
I
off
believe
the platter.
Claiborne Agency had something to do with that.
The
Never-
Liz Claiborne Agency. Google that one, fellas. Yeah, Milt Grant's dance party. Anyway, yeah, Liz Claiborne. Yeah, so the answer is yes. Jack played lead guitar, and on these 2 tracks, it is the quintessential 50s, drenched in ruin. I mean, it's just the right shit. And yeah, I still have my copy of this 78. I'll probably trip over and break it when I. In any case, the answer is yes, yes, and yes. Now, the other thing about Phil Covell that I remember I really liked a lot is that he had this was 50, he had a 57 Pontiac that had 3 deuces on it. I
That's right,
remember
came with
that.
3 deuce kit.
Yeah, that's right.
You have 4-barrel or 3 deuce.
These are deuces, 3 deuces, so I had 6 barrels altogether. Glass packs, of course.
He also
Hurst
had that
shifter.
odd acoustic guitar with a triangle hole in it, and can't remember what kind of make that was. But it was a rounded triangle. hole.
Yeah, I'm
was
thinking
really
it might have
odd.
been a Gretsch. I don't know.
huge.
We have to call GE. He knows all that stuff.
In any case, yes.
In any case, yeah. But in any case, so when I first met Jack and Jack was playing guitar, he knew how to play chords you couldn't even spell. So
Well, I took a little from the Mickey.
April in Paris.
Exactly, stuff like that. But I got into playing bass through my friend Danny Gatton, may he rest in peace.
May he.
Who was the child wizard on so many instruments. And we traded back and forth in each other's bands on the DC circuit. And when I was 16, that summer he got a gig. It was a great gig. I paid $115 a week or something.
Whoa.
And of course, that's 5 sets, 5 40-minute sets, 20-minute breaks. And I believe it was at the Dixie Pig out in.
The Dixie Pig. I remember Charlie Daniels, may he rest in
Yeah.
peace, played the Dixie
Yeah,
Pig.
exactly. So anyway, he said, Jack, do you know my bass player's sick? He's in the hospital. Do you know anybody in play? And I said, no, I didn't know of it. Bass players are very rare back then. Everybody's playing stand-up bass.
I heard he told you it only has 4 strings. How
Exactly.
hard could it be?
How hard can it be? So I took the gig, And I literally learned on the job with a precision bass, and that's how I started playing bass. I just fell in love with the instrument.
Yeah.
I could have been an okay guitar player. Yorm was a great guitar player. I could have been an okay guitar player,
Yeah.
but I think bass had the calling for me, the range and whatnot, and so there you go. There you go.
So let me just ask you before we move on. So on that session, I believe you were playing your Telecaster. What
My
year?
Telecaster I bought new, of course,
Yes.
in 1958 for $115. A
And
Fender
worth every
Telecaster.
penny.
I love that guitar.
You
I
foolishly.
remember about a year and a half or 2 years later, I traded it in for a used 1957 Stratocaster.
Yes, but the Stratocaster had the contoured body.
the
Remember, so in
contoured,
case you were to
yeah,
like put on a bunch of weight, you could still
Yeah, don't
comfortably play
forget-
that.
Once upon a time, they were all new.
They were. I recommend that for you guys out there, you need to read The Birth of Loud. It's a story of, it's more the story of Leo Fender than Les Paul, but it's really the story about Les Paul and Leo Fender, and it's really, really cool.
Oh, and don't forget, we
Yes.
got the spot for opening up to Link Ray at the Rendezvous.
Oh, the wrong.
And
Right.
would play before his set in the afternoon. I remember the afternoon sessions with the sun coming through until you waited till it got dark and were a little more normal. But
Right.
on Sunday afternoons, they had the crab feast while you play. Now, this is how you make your bones as a musician. Hard shell crabs, Chesapeake Bay crabs, hammers, everything. People wailing away on them, drinking beer, and you're doing your set.
Butterflying, crab juice everywhere. Good times, good times. I couldn't remember where the Rendezvous was. Where was the Rendezvous?
10th Street.
10th, ooh.
It was down the street from Vinnie's.
Ah, Vinnie's, yes.
And also later on, Coffee and Confusion, which in the 60s when the jazz stuff came in, then you had your poetry readings, Coffee and Confusion, all on one street.
Boys,
So Link Ray as in Rumble? Link
Yeah,
Ray?
right. Link Ray and the Raymen. And
Correct.
he had a brother, Ray Vernon,
right.
who was a singer and had a pop song out at the time. And that's how we got hooked up with Link Ray, on the Milk Grant and doing these shows.
Liz
and
Claiborne.
whatnot, Yeah.
We were underpaid, abused, non-union
I was
scab
telling
labor.
Deborah as we went through Route 50 that in Warrington, Virginia, the story about having to stop onto that Milk Grant show and having to turn in one of the guitars at the Justice of the Peace as we were late, of
Oh,
course.
that was in Winchester.
It was Winchester.
It was in
Oh, I thought it was
Winchester, yes, I remember
Winchester,
that.
okay.
Actually, that was a memorable gig for a number of reasons. First of all, the fact that we didn't go to jail immediately, that was memorable. And I
Well,
remember,
do you remember that
it took one of
we didn't
Honeycutt's
have any money,
guitars.
so they took us to the Justice of the Peace, to his home. And his home had a driveway that went around in front of the kitchen window, and he's in a sliding window. He says, well, what do you got that's worth anything? And we had a guitar, and we said,
I
"We'll
wanted
give
to
you the
say
country
him, take
gentleman."
him.
Yeah, the country gentleman. He gave him one of our guitars. We went off, did the gig, and borrowed a guitar. Came back with the money for the gig, paid the ticket, and made nothing.
So if you recall on that gig, we were back in Jimmy Clanton, and I've talked about this a bit. Back in those days when
Just
the
a
big
dream.
star, just a dream, just a dream, all our hopes and all our schemes, et cetera, et cetera. In any case, but this is the fun. We're opening for, we played a little bit, and then we played with Jimmy. It's the first time I'd ever seen a bra thrown on stage. It was pretty exciting,
It's kind
actually.
of like, Zap Comics, their eyes go wang like this, and you think, I like this. This is good.
I'm gonna love this job.
Yeah, this, we can go with it. And, but it was amazing education, not only.
In more ways
great
than one.
Players, Ray Charles was on that bill, all kinds of people. And we played in armories. You can't imagine what the sound was like in an armory. But those were often the go-to venues for these extravaganzas that promoters would put on with, 15 acts, in a row. And it was fabulous. You come out and do 3 songs, something like that. Yeah.
Right. Good times. Yeah, the Liz Claiborne Agency. I looked that up. Well, alrighty, so yeah, okay, we've yacked enough. You ready there, big fella? My cape on the right fret now? Just double check it. Well, now you hope the road you follow will lead you to the sea. You hope the time allowed you will start you living free. But when the world is busy, the way is hard to see. When tomorrow comes, will you remember? Well, when the time you got to wander is slipping by your side, and the way you try to move into the future lets you slide into corners without exits, so you try to find a ride. Tomorrow comes, will you remember? What you're living through, it's spinning, just keep taking you for a ride. You know you gotta keep on fighting through. The last frontier's lying deep inside. Well, now the last ship in the harbor is sailing on the tide, and your papers are in order, you better get inside. That broad horizon ready, your world is open wide. When forever comes, you'll still remember. Thank you. Oh, good. Oh. Big instrument change for Jack here.
Oh, okay.
And a capo change for me. How about if I just put my capo on some random fret and you
Please
figure
do
it
that.
out?
Actually put it kind of like, see if you can get two frets at once. I've had some capo surprises in my time.
With this song, actually. It was my fault, I admit it. What day is
It's on
today?
record.
It was my fault, I admit it. When wrong, more or less promptly admit it. Yeah, as fancy as this capo is, that rubber is fatiguing. Let me hear those dulcet tones.
The service cable.
It takes me back to the shores of Lake Baikal. One of 3 such lakes in the world, the other 2 being Lake Titicaca and it's just. All right. Jesus. We're out of control.
Hey,
What?
what's up with the noise in the
What
audience?
was, did you hear that?
Yeah,
I mean, really?
it's a trained professional.
What, somebody
work,
dropped
right?
their watch or something? What is that?
No, their phone.
Oh, the
No
phone,
doubt.
the phone, of course. Well, it's kind of his watch. I don't think he has a watch, actually. Will the river of time it marks our line? Birth to death is no rhyme. Chance to meet along the way. Will we go or will we stay? Or no sound of tolling bells. Task on earth is living well. Well, I dreamt my grandma held my hand. Felt a stranger in this land. Her ancient voice cried out to me. Have your choices plain to see. Time to move on down the line. All here floating in the river of time. Well, the bank was shrouded in the fog. From the shore, a barking dog. Recalled a time I long forgot. Flowers there, forget-me-nots. Somewhere, friends of mine, we rolled down that river of time. Well, it might be nice, I could have said. Speak to loved ones long since dead. I still flow there on the shore. I shan't see them anymore. Not on this side, but in dreams. Dreams aren't always what they seem. Will the river flow has just begun. My daughter follows and my son. My time ends, I rest on land. While I slumber, they'll still stand. They're part of that endless line. Oh, you're floating in the river of time. As I float through another day, there are no waves to rock my way. Water lifts my spirits high. In this moment, you and I feel that current flow so fine. We roll down that river of time. Thank you. Yes, indeedy. I love the balalaika.
It seems to fit.
If you were flying, you'd have to buy a seat on the airplane for it. If it could fit through the X-ray thing in security.
And somebody sent me a picture of Bo Diddley holding a bass balalaika. Thought it was pretty funny. Thanks.
Oh, good. Let me quickly, if I may, Mr. Cassidy,
Yeah.
just quickly check my tuning here.
I don't know how long it's going to be before you two are together again, but can I just say
Did you have to say that?
how much I appreciate that you coordinated your clothes today?
my-
What'd you do? Call
my
each other
house
at
is open.
midnight?
My house is open for you guys to come and visit.
I know. Yorma, your socks match his shirt, but his shirt is the perfect complement.
We're like telepathic.
No, I think you guys called each other at midnight and said, "What are you wearing? What are you wearing?"
Do you see the pair of socks that Deborah got him?
Crabs.
I did. From
Love those
Old
songs.
Bay
Old
season.
Bay.
And if they'd matched my shirt, I would have worn them tonight.
Yorma has quite the collection of socks.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, actually, I think you inspired me years ago when you had the Days of the Week socks.
You know who gave me that? Stacy Pierce.
Stacy,
gave me
yeah,
that.
right.
He knew how anal it was. and so
truly,
he
yes.
got me a pair of socks.
It was
7 socks.
utterly unsurprising that you of all people would have Days of the Week socks, and
You got a chuckle at it.
I'm glad to see you never mixed like Monday with Thursday. That was showed a lot of.
And that was so, I had to do, I couldn't do it. It didn't have the right, it was in the wash or something. I just couldn't put on Monday when it was Tuesday.
I totally get it. I totally
But
get it.
Yorma, when your father, later in life, your dad wore some outrageous socks, and he wore like the really, like fire engine red. Do you remember that? In the heat of the summer, he'd have like red wool socks on.
Well, towards the end of his life, when he realized that the time for artifice was over, he was outrageous. He was for a guy that had been so conservative most of his life, he was just over the edge completely. Yeah, I'll never forget the time he got dosed with acid that time.
The questions he asked.
So yeah, there he was. We were playing Bimbo's 365 Club. Dad, somebody dosed dear old Dad. And we had to go on stage, and I was worried about him because he was my dad, for God's sakes. But as we were heading for the stage, I noticed that he was lying on the sofa surrounded by this bevy of babes that was like
Exactly.
holding his head and the
Massaging
cold
his
cloth,
temples,
massaging his temples and all that shit. So we played our show, and he came back and he went, "Son, it was like pillars of sound." I went,
Yeah.
"I hear you, Dad." So then I figured, back in those days, my parents lived down the street from me in San Francisco. We took him home to my house, and we just sat around. I played records for him and this and that. I think the Jimmy Cliff record, the Harder They Come record, had just played the Harder They Come record, and all this.
All night long.
Yeah, all night long. And then finally I got to go to sleep. It's like 6 in the morning, but Dad is still tripping. What a thing. My dad was still tripping.
Yep.
So I walked him down the street to Mom's house, and Mom had locked him out. So we woke Mom up, and Mom came down, and he remember he looked at me. He went, "Kid," he says, "I've taken Lyserga, whatever the chemical name for LSD is." He said that, and she said, "Well, I don't care what you did because we have an appointment of some kind of thing in about 2 hours." And I remember I took him into his living room, put the Koss headphones on his head, put the Jimmy Cliff record that I'd brought down from my house on, and Dad said, "Dad, I'll see you later." Good times. Okay, so anyway, yeah. How'd we get on that? I don't even know. So okay, so we're gonna do this song called Parchment Farm, and it's a Mose Allison tune. Remember when Jack and I first saw Mose in D.C. back in 57, 58? It was.
I still have the single.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. Yes, it was a top 40 hit back then. You know, before the formatting of stations, the D.C. It was awesome. The music was awesome. Anyway, yeah. So I will. First of all, I will absolutely admit that our version is closer. The music is closer to a song that Mose does called "If You Live." But this is our version of Parchment Farm. It's a Mose Allison song, and that's that. Secret Agent Man. No, sorry. The mind's a terrible thing to waste.
Remind me to tell you, I cut an album with you.
With?
Yeah, Secret Agent.
No shit.
Yeah, I did, and I'll tell you about that.
You can't tell us on mic and camera, huh?
It was mid-90s.
Okay,
About
maybe you
same
can't
time
tell
I did
us.
something with Warren Zevon, the same producer.
Oh, Warren. I remember
from-
we played on that Warren album in '89. I played on Gridlock.
Yeah, Chalou, you know, from
Yeah, right. Those are the days, Anyway, yeah, okay. sitting over here, Parchment Farm. Sitting over here, Parchment Farm. Well, sitting over here, Parchment Farm. Ain't never done nobody no wrong. Well, loading that cotton in 11-foot sack. Loading that cotton, 11-foot sack. Well, loading that cotton in 11-foot sack. Got a 12-gauge shotgun at my back. Sitting here, number 9. Sitting over here, number 9. Well, sitting over here, number 9. No, all I done was drink my wine. We're gonna be here for the rest of my life. Gonna be here for the rest of my natural life. We're gonna be here for the rest of my life. You know, all I've done was shoot my wife. Sitting over here, Parchment Farm. Sitting over here on Parchment Farm. We're sitting over here, Parchment Farm. It ain't never done nobody no wrong. You know, doing that song reminded me, it's really dangerous when things remind you when you're actually playing music, because unpredictable shit can happen, but fortunately we got through that. But anyway, yeah, so a number of years ago, I got this book called Wake Up Dead Man. It was about songs from penitentiaries down south where they had, convict labor and stuff like that. And there's a lot of these the songs they sung, and the Wake Up Dead Man thing is like you're working down this road, whatever you're working, and even though you're dead, you can't stop because you got work to do. So I started to write a song about that, but I just didn't have enough stuff. People, didn't you do a song called Wake Up Dead Man? Yeah, I had the line I stole from the title of the book, but that was as far as I got with it. Who knows? Anyway, It's a pretty interesting book, Wake Up Dead Man. Check it out sometime. Some really, really great song lyrics in it. Not the most upbeat book in the world, but hey, you know. Okay. Yeah. Ho, yeah, okay. Right. So, Jack,
Yeah.
pick up the old J50 here.
The old J50. The song was recorded on that.
Yes, it was. Song after song flowed from our pens. Well, that's a good guitar. About, might be better if it was completely in tune. Let me check this out.
What'd you pay for that guitar?
Well,
Was it a couple $100?
I paid $100 for this actually, but $100 was a lot more back in those days. I got it. This is
Gas was
a
19 cents a gallon.
yeah. This is a '58. I got it in '60. Pop's Music Store in Dayton, Ohio. Some of the local guys here, like Ethan Green and Frank McDermott from up at Blue Eagle there in Athens. They remember Pops over there. I mean, back in those days, you know, it wasn't like, well, I think I'll go to Guitar Center
Right.
and I'll sample, I don't know, 20 mediocre acoustic guitars and, you know, anyhow,
Oh, you got a winner there.
I do. Yeah, you just never know how that stuff's gonna pan out, do you? So, yeah, so let's see. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, this guitar's got some miles on it.
I mean, it's remained, you've hardly worked on that. It's remained pretty stable over the years.
It really has, actually. So, yeah, this is, you know, it's got all these dents and stuff, and that's a whole story unto itself. But this one here, I remember I had moved to San Jose or Santa Clara in '62, and I started playing the, you know the story, met Janis, met Jerry, all that stuff, you know, blah, blah, blah. Anyhow, so at the off stage, actually this was before, it was still the folk theater. In this tiny little dressing room, and I put my guitar in the back of the dressing room. And I went out to get a cup of espresso, and I came back and the guitar was stolen. It was gone. We called the police. And they actually caught the guy that did it. In any case, as he was jumping over the fence in the back, it fell out of the case and landed on the gravel driveway, and that's where that ding came from.
What did you think about that?
I thought I was the luckiest guy in the friggin' world. That's what I thought. Okay, let's see how lucky we are when we play this song.
Yeah.
So it's been a while since we played this tune, haven't we, Jack? I'm just setting ourselves up so people can
Thank you.
appreciate
Pick it apart
how
later.
unbelievable the depth of our communication, our memory, et cetera, et cetera.
Let's not jinx it.
Yeah, let's not jinx it.
out.
Exactly right. Yeah, okay. Yikes. Yikes. Holy moly. Well, not bad, all things considered. Okay, yeah, good, good,
How
good,
did
good,
you come
good.
by to write that song? That's a
Actually,
interesting changes you did in there, really.
the answer is I don't know, Jack. I just, one thing led to another.
Yeah.
So the reason it's called Man's Fate was Steed had an unreplicatable lick that was more or less, it actually was nothing like this, but that's what So anyhow, I mean, it inspired me to do that. Oh, I have no idea whatsoever.
Very cool shit.
It's like Reverend Davis when he was in that lawsuit with Peter, Paul, and Mary about the writing of Samson Delilah, because PPM claimed they wrote it in the beginning. And they go, Reverend Davis, when did you write that song? And he goes, I didn't write. The lawyers shit themselves. And then he said, the Lord give it to me on. So anyhow, he won the case. Okay, well. Yeah, well, this ought to be fun. If it's fun, I'm a genius. If it's not, it's your fault.
I'll take it.
Yeah, of course you will. Of course you will. Ready there, big fella? We'll get down, child. Gotta find another way. Stop running out and out. Ain't no way to start the day. Well, I hear people talking about the time that you spent living in the clouds. Hear your future saying loud. We're walking in the shadows, thousand shiny mirrors all around. Down an endless cavern like some princess in a rainy underground. Waiting for tomorrow, and you traded what you never mind today. In a world that's filled with sorrow, you're a winner still that anyone can say. Cool, Jack. I can hardly wait till we get to dust that off with
Exactly.
Justin when we actually get out there on the road and stand up and make guitar faces and all
Then
that stuff.
that last part might get extended just a tad.
It might. Good chance that'll happen. The song might never end.
Yeah, and have
People
a little,
leave, we're still playing the song.
and have a little versatone gang going on.
Well, goodness gracious. Well, Chester! Hey, buddy. I love that dog. Good boy.
Can you come up and say hi?
That dog, he's such a dog.
Okay, so,
So I'm thinking here, I'm constantly reevaluating stuff. It's really busy up there behind my eyes. And so I've revised my opinion yet one more time.
yeah,
And I think we'll do the slow version of Come Back Baby.
Sure.
Remember who wrote this song?
Lightning Hawk.
No, not at all. Walter, this song was written by, that's an interesting story. I always thought it was Lightning because I learned it off a Lightning record. And so when we recorded it and stuff like that, I always gave Lightning credit. And then one day, we got a letter from Lightning's
Oh, that's right.
estate, and they wanted money or something. And so we got off our butt. Actually, we called our attorney out in California. The song's actually written by a guy named Walt. Lightning didn't write it. Remember, Lightning claimed he wrote everything that he ever recorded.
Pretty much.
Walter Davis is the author of the song. He was a piano player, and the original version was recorded in 1940. And you can get this original version for 99 cents. You know the deal, right? Anyway, I checked it out. It's cool.
One of the greatest educations I had at the Matrix was backing Lightning up for 2 weeks.
Oh, late.
It was education of how to follow a guitarist. He doesn't necessarily play with a click track.
No, he doesn't. Lightning changed when Lightning wanted to change. I remember that. And I remember he also said, I remember him telling you, you've got to come on the road with me.
Right.
This rock and roll business is going nowhere.
Yeah, I told him I had a band.
Yeah, with kudos to Lightning and Walter Davis. Because this is one of the few songs that Lightning was not really much of a chord change kind of guy, but the song actually had chord change. Anyway. Well, come back, baby. Baby, please don't go. Way I love you, child. I want that world to know. Well, come back, baby. Let's talk it over one more time. Now this whole world was made one day. China, don't go away. Welcome back, babe. Let's talk it over one more time. Now this old world was made in sin. Come back, baby, try all over again. Well, come back, babe. Let's talk it over one more time. Well, come back, baby. Baby, please don't go. Hey, I love you, child. I want that world to know. Well, come back, babe. Let's talk it over one more time. Well, come back, baby. Baby, please don't go. Way I love you, child. I want that world to know. Well, come back, baby. Let's talk it over one more time.
Yeah,
Well, Jack,
yeah.
it's been swell.
It has been swell.
I see Vanessa's standing.
I know. I don't want this to end. I do have one final question. since
Lay it
we
on
are-
us.
This one just came in from Scotty, photographer Scotty Hall.
Ah,
Can you have Yorma tell the story about when Owsley threw the recordings in the fire?
the recordings in the fire.
Well, I was corrected with some of that from Ronnie Stanley, that there's been a lot of misinformation, and it sort of makes sense. We
I know
did
there's a lot of
record-
DMT going
Yeah.
around. That does,
Yeah.
it does alter one's perception to some extent.
We did a lot of playing and jamming and whatnot, particularly in this theater there, our synagogue that was next to the Fillmore Auditorium. and we rehearse there all the time, so when various people come through the Fillmore.
Come on, buddy, come on over here.
What's up, buddy?
Come on.
Well,
Well, come on over.
yeah.
Yeah, bud, come
Well,
on.
what? You gotta go out? One more song, I'll take you out, buddy.
Yeah, hold it, bud.
And so we played a lot, and I thought that I repeated that story rather incorrectly at time. It's hard to say who threw tapes in the fire, but the story was somewhere, along the line, somebody thought that the evil God had entered the tapes and whatnot, and they ended up in a fire. It's really hard to say who did what at this point after
Right.
all these years. But it made a great story for a
Everybody
long
was
time.
there, yeah,
But it
bud.
makes plenty of sense that Owsley would never do that, because he saved everything.
Yeah, it depends on whether he thought, I mean, look, that's a really good question, you know? And here's like in the beginning of my book, when I wrote my book, I went, look, this is how I remember it, and that's how it's gonna be.
And there you go.
Man, there should be listen, you don't like my story? Write your own book, okay? Somebody threw him in the fire,
Yeah,
we know that.
There's a lot of funny stuff going on back
There
in the day.
was, there certainly was.
I mean,
And
we should
here's the
tell
deal.
We should tell the story of a recording in Tassajara at some time.
Oh, the
That's another time.
Tassajara, yes, the Zen monastery.
The Zen monastery, where you had a road,
The
Maurice
Zen
in the truck,
monastery.
Pat Racy came down with a truck down into Montessori, which was, of course, an all-vegetarian outfit down there.
Where's the beef?
And we snuck in steaks, Owsley. Now, that's a true story. Melissa Owsley and a number of people snuck in steaks to eat meat while we were at a Montessori
Enough with,
retreat trying to record a unique album.
no, not
And-
Montessori, that's where we
I
couldn't
mean,
afford to send our kids to school.
Yeah, exactly.
It's right, I know, but I knew what you
You know
meant,
what I
yeah, I did, monastery,
And,
yeah.
it ended up that the room that we had a little fireplace, so you're roasting meat over
Oh,
the fireplace.
yeah,
Of
that's
course,
right.
that's wafting over the whole compound, you
Right.
know.
Yes,
Another
this-
story.
Enough with the brown rice, where's the beef? Yeah. So you can't make this stuff up, you know? I don't know.
We almost lost the truck with the 8-track on the way down.
That's funny stuff, man. I wonder if it's still there. Probably, if it is, it probably hasn't changed an iota. So, Jack, yeah, it's been great. You have a really safe trip home,
Thank you. Thank
and
you.
I'm sure we'll be talking. And
And we want to thank everyone again, of course. Yorma just said thank you, a million thank yous.
Amelia,
Myron, Andy,
Andy,
Izzy, everybody that put in their time, John. Thank you to Deborah and Chester. This has been awesome.
even though Izzy went to the lake with her best buddy today,
She
or
did.
yesterday, or whatever.
Yep, that's all
And
right.
remember, folks, stay flexible with the times. It's just what it is and what we got to do.
That's true.
That's right. That sounds so much nicer when I say, wear your mask.
Well,
My-
I'll be putting my mask on as soon as I
I'm
leave
sure
here.
you will.
I know.
I'm sure you will.
So stay safe. Thank you, everyone, for continuing to support the Quarantine Concert Series. So that means next week will be number 15.
Correct,
right.
Mundo.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, we'll miss you guys, but you guys have a safe trip home, and thank you so much for coming out and spending some time in our neck of the woods. And
Well, I have a feeling that some miles are going to be put on various vehicles for our immediate future.
I'm sure you're right. I'm sure you're right. All right, well,
These two are cooking up an idea to get twinning RVs for the future.
that's right. Don't get me
You
started.
pay for us, we'll come.
Yeah. It's pretty much the way it works most of the time.
That's how it's worked pretty much.
Except here where it's free. Okay, so cool, yeah. So we have selected for our final number today,
Apropos.
Well, now, Mother, don't you stop a praying. Father, I said, keep right on praying. Don't you stop a praying for this whole world. Almost done, keep your lamps trimmed and burning. Keep your lamps keep your lamps trimmed and burning, for this whole world is almost done. That's it, brother. Don't you stop a praying, Father. Keep right. Don't you stop a praying, for this whole world is almost done. Keep your lamp trimmed and burning. Keep your lamps trimmed and burning, for this whole world is almost done. Keep your lamps trimmed and burning. Keep your lamps trimmed and burning, for this whole world is almost done. We'll keep our lamps trimmed and burning. Keep our lamps trimmed and burning, for our race is almost run. Hey, thanks so much, folks, and, well, you'll see me next week, and you'll see Jack down the road somewhere, too. You might
Yeah.
see Jack next week, too. He'll be back in front of his screen, and,
You might, you might.
You guys were awesome. Thank you so much.
Oh, thanks,
Thank you
Vanessa.
so
Vanessa.
much.
Thanks.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Andy. Thanks, Myron, John, Deborah, Chester.
Chester made an appearance.
I know.
Yep.
All right,
Cool stuff.
everyone.
We're out of here.
Thanks. Be safe. Wear your mask.